morning. I'm Bobby McCutcheon from the Williamsburg County Library. I'm here with Miss Kimberly Matthews, who's videoing us this morning. She is a Children's Services Librarian for the county libraries. And Ladson McCutcheon is here from Library Friends doing stills for us for the day. This is part of our summer reading program where we're talking to really interesting people all over Williamsburg County. And today, we are the guests of Mr. James Carraway, principal of Kingstree Middle Magnet School. And on this side is Malik Hayward. And the reason we have these two people here today with me is because he was invited by the school, I assume,
yes,
to do something that's in back of us. In just a minute, we'll show you what that is. So, how did this happen? How did this come about?
well, fortunately, we were recipients of a 21st Century After School Grant, and that's funded through the South Carolina Department of Education. And with those funds, we were able to contract with an artist in residence. And myself and Ms. Easterlin, we discussed, who could we possibly get? And my mind immediately went to Malik Hayward because I knew he was a product of Williamsburg County. And when I first came back as principal, I saw his work. My assistant principal, Ms. Barkers, was aware of him as well. So we contacted him because we knew he was the right person to do it. We actually was in discussion before this with him, but we never kind of could get together. But we are so happy and elated that we were finally able to get Malik here. And as you will see in a little bit, you'll see the wonderful job that he has done. And I know our students, not just students, our staff and community members will enjoy this for years to come.
Absolutely. And I've known Malik for just a little tiny period of time. And one day, a month or so ago, he pulled his phone out and showed me his artwork. I thought I was pretty good until I saw Malik's picture on his phone. I put my phone away and said, "Tell me about you. Wow, you're really great." But I had no idea how this came about and how an artist such as Malik conceives the idea for a painting and then does it, how he got this onto the wall. So we're gonna talk to Malik a minute and then back up so you can see the entire wall. Now, first of all, Malik, you were from this area, correct? Went to school in Hemingway,
yes,
and now you're a student at South Carolina State at Orangeburg.
yes.
And tell me what you're studying there.
Art education and painting and drawing.
Yes. And so when you were asked to do a painting, were you asked to do these figures in the painting, or how did you decide to put tigers on the wall?
Well, the original plan and the original thought was just to do one jaguar.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's a large space, I thought of it at a different perspective. Actually not knowing what actual design I'm going to create, I kind of thought of it along the process and just went with the flow.
So one day you walked into this cafeteria and you said, okay, well, here's a wall, so let me take this crayon and I'm just going to draw a bunch of jaguars and plants and stuff. That's not how it worked, was it?
No.
So did you have a piece of paper with a pencil and start that way, or what did you do?
Well, I did not sketch it out first, because even though we may have an original idea, an original thought, sometimes we don't perfect that. We always change along the art making process,
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes different from your original thought, and then you just start coming back to it each day, seeing what can you make, what can you do to improve it, come back with some other ideas, and some other designs.
And all this is going on in your head as you plan it out?
Yes.
And so one day you arrived where this wall is, and let's back up a little bit. So now we can see what this wall looks like.
It started out with an outline, drawing the outer edge of the shapes, which is the basic shapes of the animal,
In pencil?
in paint, a paint marker.
Uh-huh.
And then after I did that, I came in and laid in these natural tone colors to match the skin textures of the jaguar. And then, no, actually, I went in and filled in the spaces of the black after I did the outline. And then I came in and laid in these natural tones.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I went over to the grass. I did not know exactly what I wanted to do because I just didn't know. But I knew that I wanted to make it more colorful and more live, and like you can interact with nature. So I knew that because this is our picture plane, and what's close to us has to be large. And that's why I made these two jaguars large, closer to the viewer, so that you can be able to see them from a close rather than a far distance. I didn't know I was going to put like a little river or pond there until I see that it was too much grass, and I wanted to balance the sky out with the water. I put flowers in here also to kind of give it a more pop and more nature feel. And as you can see that each jaguar have a different emotion. One of them is more protective. I wouldn't say necessarily full with rage, but still more aggressive. This one is more calm, but I think ready to attack, eat his prey, I guess, observant. And this one is calm, just calm.
I've noticed how some of your detail, like this, when you get really close, you can pick out all the different colors. As you move back a little bit, they pop, but they kind of meld into one eye with some light shining off that eye, which is true, that's what it does. And the remarkable thing, one of them, with Malik's painting, is because he doesn't have this cat in front of him as something to copy. It's coming from his mind how an object should look. That's because you have a lot of experience as an artist. So that's why he was able to know how to do this. That's not easy to do. No, it's not easy to do. And all these little colors on the nose are blended in. And down here, they're not. He has done the same thing on the other side. So, did you study cats before you did this? See what they look like?
I didn't. I kind of look at how the texture of the hair flows.
Right.
And kind of just took the brush and went in that exact movement.
And over here, where he has the tail, visible and not visible, that's so real. That's exactly what it would look like as an object goes through grass. Over here, you don't mind if I tell them about your painting, do you?
Oh, that's fine.
I mean, this is what an observer might see. And as Mr. Carraway said, everybody looking at this is going to say it's something different, which is great. You haven't given them a specific, each one gets to make up the meaning for themselves.
And what I wanted to say, while you're there right now, I love the entire picture.
Right.
If you look at that tongue right there, and
Yeah.
the detail that he did with that tongue, and you can kind of see the salification coming out of there.
Right.
It's just so much detail that he put in there.
But if you're up close, like I am, it doesn't even look like a tongue.
Right.
So he's painting it like this,
Right.
but you don't get the full effect until you're back here, and that looks like a tongue. That's exactly right. And this, it's an aggressive posture. It's just beautiful. Now tell us real quickly, is this oil paint or house paint or acrylic paint? What is this?
It's acrylic.
Mhm.
Acrylic paint. I use Master Touch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in between Master Touch and some other types of paints, but it's all acrylic.
And the brushes, you must have used different size brushes.
I actually don't use large brushes, which is kind of weird because it's a large space. I use small brushes such as flat brushes, angle brushes, and round brushes for fine areas.
And these are bristle brushes. They're not foam brushes.
Nylon brushes.
Nylon. Yeah.
I also use Bristol brushes for the texture.
Well, this is incredibly beautiful, and thank you for letting us come film it, Mr. Carraway. This is just something. Is there anything either one of you would like us to know before we do our second part, which is going to be done at the library? Malik, have anything to tell us? Was it really easy? Was it horribly hard?
It was not easy and it was not hard at the same time, especially having to do a large project that you don't know how you're going to start and how you're going to finish. Because no work of art is completely finished. It's still a work in progress. There's still some things that you feel that is necessary to be done, to recreate, to touch up. But sometimes you just have to walk away and just be satisfied, and that's it.
And I kind of want to go back to what he said. That probably tricked kind of confused people when you got someone doing a big project. And all it was him and I doing some discussion along with Ms. Barkis. But we allowed his ideas to flow. I'm not artistic at all. So I stayed in my place, okay? And each day we would see him come in and you would just see it coming. I couldn't see it, but then I trusted him. We trusted him and his artistic God-given gifts, and this is what was presented. And like I said, the most important part of this is for someone that is from this community to produce this. So when our students come in here, they know if he can do it, then they can do it. Because we have genius in all of our students. So that's the part that I really, really like. I mean, the painting is fabulous, but the fact that we can say that someone who's homegrown did this really makes me feel special.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for letting us come. We're gonna hike over to the library now and film the second part of this, which will be more detail about Malik's, how an artist works. And you might think there's nothing going on up there, like he's just staring into space. That's not true.
Right.
he's got cranking away. Is there a time when you looked at this and said, okay, I got it, I'm done? Or did he tell you you were done?
I actually went to, I asked Mr. Carraway and Ms. Barkis to come so that they can look at it. Even though me as an artist, I'm creating something, I'm seeing it from my perspective, and it may be something that needs to be done when you're doing commission pieces to satisfy your client's wants and visual appeal. So I lost the tail in the painting. And,
Where did you put it?
it was too much grass.
Oh.
It was too much grass. So I corrected that. And
Well, it turned out, Malik. Congratulations, and thank you again so much for letting us come.
No,
This
thank
is
y'all so
just
much.
great. Mhm.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Matthews, the Children's Librarian here at the Williamsburg County Library, and we would like to thank Mr. Malik Hayward and Mr. James Carraway, Principal at Kingstree Middle Magnet School of the Arts, for letting us come out and see the mural that he did in the cafeteria and the one that he is currently painting in the gym. We thank you once again.